movement. I'm not seeing enough movement.
That's all we need is
Not that
movement
big.
in the crowd, Ninja. Yeah.
This is Velvet, by the way, already an
Yeah.
incredible artist.
Look at my
But an amazing
flossing
song. Thank you
skills.
guys
They're
so much
so
for
good,
tuning in.
aren't they? This is what Fortnite is all about. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm autistic as I am so autistic. I don't even know why I did that. I don't even know what this introduction's even for anymore. Let's be honest, this video needs no introduction. We all know what I'm talking about, and when we say, hey look, Fortnite has ruined gaming, and why. Of course, I just want to reiterate exactly what all the points are for me, because it has genuinely been stuck on my head for all the games that I actually care about, how they continuously go down a Fortnite path. And I don't mean just Battle Royale, which we'll talk about in a second, but in general, following every single one of Fortnite's strategies here. So of course, if you do like this video, as we talk about how Fortnite ruined the gaming industry, then do me a favor, like and subscribe, and comment down below exactly what you think, as we talk about Fortnite and how it ruined everything. Now, the very first massive thing that I'm pretty sure every single person has talked about when it comes down to Fortnite and how it's ruined gaming is the Battle Royale popularity. There's a lot of people who misconstrued, and especially very big business people that are high up on gaming companies such as Ubisoft, such as EA, and all these kind of companies that see Battle Royale as the only way to actually promote a game. Everybody does the exact same motherfucking thing, which is we're going to release a goddamn Battle Royale so we can have the exact same popularity as Fortnite. But let's be honest, 80% of the games out there do not have the exact same motivation or effort putting into those games, and instead are on a rush deadline to try to catch this trend. Let's be honest, 90% of the Battle Royales that was released after Fortnite usually failed. Now, we are talking games like Call of Duty Warzone that ended up being a struggle at this point to try and run efficiently. You have Apex Legends, even games before like PUBG are still struggling but still somewhat popular. And these are the only big, gigantic Battle Royale games that everybody consistently goes to when we talk about Battle Royales. We're not even including all the other types of games that tried to do this Battle Royale shtick and it ended up failing and flopping royally. These are the kind of situations that Fortnite is kind of presented just through the sheer popularity of it. Now, I'm not going to blame Epic Games or Fortnite for actually making a game that's such a classic that every single company is trying to follow in the industry. It's just really strange how every single company, the second you see the amount of Fortnite profits that come in, are trying to do the exact same thing and trying to replicate that in their own games. Now, next up, obviously, has to be the Battle Pass system. Everybody knows it, and a lot of people are starting to hate it nowadays because every single company is abusing the absolute shit out of this system that it seems like Fortnite really popularized through their system. Now, I want to say, as a predisposition to this whole entire comment and rant I'm about to go on, Fortnite did it somewhat well and somewhat effectively. They're a free-to-play game that make most of their money off of selling V-Bucks to underage children that beg their mothers to go get it for them, okay? That I somewhat understand. But when it comes down to the newer games that put a Battle Pass system despite you paying shit tons of money regardless for the game in and of itself, like Black Ops, for example. If you are not an Xbox, you don't have Xbox Game Pass, you are paying $60+ on a game. Possibly a little bit less, possibly a little bit more, depending on the country you're in and all that amazingly fun stuff. But why would you have to pay another $10 on top of that for a Battle Pass? And a not amazing one, not with the best skins of all time, but the most bare bones bullshit that you'll ever see in gaming history. It is stupid and it is dumb. The same thing goes for Rainbow Six Siege, and I still pay for the Battle Pass on that, and don't worry, I still want to neck myself every single day of my life. But regardless, even that system doesn't make any sense. Of course, now it is free to play, but even before it was free to play, you paid $30 for the game. You have to pay a little bit of extra if you want to get any of the operators in the game beforehand without grinding through hours and hours and hours of gameplay to save up enough renown to buy a goddamn operator. And now you have to pay another $10, possibly even more, because of their stupid system and the way that they get Rainbow Six Siege credits out. Tell me, what makes sense about any of that, and what makes it so good in the gaming industry today? It doesn't. Yes, you get a couple of cool extra skins, but 80% of the battle pass is bullshit that you don't want and you don't need and you don't like. It's only that 20%, either at the very end of the battle pass or somewhere near the middle of the battle pass, that is fine. And the battle pass system on top of that is literally just for engagement at this point. If you spend $10 on something, what are you gonna do after you spend $10 on something? You're gonna continuously try and grind out that fucking battle pass, if not pay for the battle pass tiles upright, which is all stupid. And on top of that, there are certain battle passes in certain fucking games that give you an advantage in the game itself, either unlocking weapons early or unlocking certain blueprints in the form of Call of Duty and these kind of things. So why the fuck does it exist? Other than to just engagement farm and make it seem like the game is more popular than it actually is because some retard spent a couple of fucking dollars on a battle pass and that's about fucking it. There's nothing else other than engagement and that 10 extra bucks that you fish over that you feel like shit for fishing over afterwards once you realize you got absolutely fuck all from the battle pass itself. And that is another thing that Fortnite fucking started. Fuck you, Fortnite. As amazing as the game is used to be, you've started so much bullshit. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is, of course, the crossovers. Now, I want to predispose this next little rant that I have here with saying that Fortnite did it well. Why did it do it well? Because there's no really predisposed lore or anything like that, obviously, right? They've been doing crossovers for a long time, whether it was the Lego crossover, the Rocket League crossover, the music crossover, all these different types of things were in existence previous to any sort of lore, because Fortnite doesn't really have any lore other than the quick videos or whatever that you have between events. Of course, you have a couple things there, but again, Fortnite is a goofy game where you can actually add these characters in and it will not ruin the whole entire game itself. Now, that being said, let's go look at Black Ops 6 now, for example. Does it make sense to have a Beavis and Butthead skin in Call of Duty? No, it does not. You want to know why? Because Call of Duty was a serious game with serious topics. And of course, if you have a serious game with serious topics, I mean, putting a Beavis and Butthead skin in there just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Holy God, it doesn't make any sense in any way, shape, or form. Or, do you know what? American Dad. Does it make sense in the Call of Duty universe? No! No! It is purely an easy crash grab. If you have any sort of relation to any of these kind of series or movie series when you were younger, then of course it makes sense that you'd want to go, I want to pick it up. But no! No! It just doesn't make sense in the Call of Duty universe, not in any way, shape, or form. Or how about Rainbow Six Siege? Do you think Rick and Morty fit in the whole entire very serious first-person shooter of Rainbow Six Siege, where you're a Special Forces operative going in and doing things? No, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry to tell you, it makes no sense. The only skin in there that I could see that was pretty cool and it's somewhat okay with the lore and the kind of atmosphere that they were trying to build is the Lara Croft skin that they added for, of course, Ash, or these kind of operators, right? Those made sense. But now, after Fortnite and their whole entire thing of let's just put some random bullshit in our game and see what happens there, brother, let's go, it's not going to be the same thing that goes over and transfers over as easily to any other game that's out there. Again, atmosphere matters. The game itself matters. I don't feel any bit of seriousness or any sort of intensity that I did in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, for fuck's sakes. I don't feel that same intensity because they released these bullshit skins that ended up changing the whole entire environment and idea around Call of Duty, for example, or Rainbow Six Siege. You used to be able to take that motherfucker seriously. You used to be able to kind of like vision, oh, a bunch of operators against more operators. Even if it was a training ground, lore simulator, whatever the fuck you want to even consider it, it made sense before. But now when you have all these different skins running around the fucking map that make no sense, what the fuck is going on? You don't have the exact same feelings towards the game anymore. And it ruined the games that tried to pick up on this whole entire trend of let's just throw in as many crossovers as humanly possible. Now, continuing kind of on the topic of crossovers is the other ruined games that kind of came out of Fortnite. Now, this one's more of a middle-of-the-road one because it has a pro and con to it, so I'm not going to be super harsh in this section, but they have kind of ruined the reputation of other games. Halo is a great example of that. Halo has been always a somewhat grounded, somewhat serious game that actually in multiplayer you can have a little bit more fun in, you can screw around a little bit more in, and all these kind of things, right? But now these days with the kids that haven't played the original Halo games and all that kind of shit, they're going to be always looking at Master Chief and thinking of Fortnite. They're not going to be thinking of Halo, they're going to be thinking of Fortnite. I'm pretty sure they even added a Doomslayer skin in there, and they've ruined that series. Or you talk about some of the TV show skins that they added, the more horrifying, more scary ones that they've added into the whole entire thing. It kind of ruins the horror of those kind of series for me, because now everybody's just seeing like a Demogorgon and being like,
Well, it's Fortnite. It's Fortnite, gamers. Let's go, Fortnite.
and I'm so tired of that as well. I'm so tired of all the other game series that are out there, or even TV shows, even movies, that used to be a very serious kind of, tone to them, that have been kind of somewhat ruined by Fortnite itself. And again, this one's a pros and cons thing, and the reason there's a pro to it and not just cons is because, of course, when you go and look at it, they also do somewhat increase the popularity of the other games. Not by a hell of a lot, not by much, but they do increase the popularity, and I can admit that wholeheartedly. A kid who's maybe 11 or 12 playing Fortnite may, in the end, look at the other game series and be like, wow, it looks interesting, I can't wait to go watch it. And I like that idea as well, there's no doubt about that in my mind. But still, it has somewhat ruined the tone of other games, the same way it ruined the tone of other games through kind of promoting the crossovers. Now, the next thing Fortnite changed was the industry itself. Now, as a prerequisite, before I kind of go into the full, genuine discussion of this topic, I want to say this is not Fortnite's fault. They made an amazing game with a catchy fucking premise that every single audience, from adults to children, can enjoy. So I'm not going to be judging them too harshly on this one. However, I will just say that it fucked up the industry in more ways than one. The very first thing is, of course, if you're an investor with a large amount of money and you see exactly how much money Fortnite is pulling in, you're going to be looking at a game like this and saying, wow, maybe I should invest more into gaming. And without any prerequisite knowledge and without any type of even picking up a goddamn controller, they can invest into any sort of company that they so please to invest in. And when you invest into a company, you have more of a stake into exactly what the company is doing. What ends up fucking happening? Well, let me tell you. They invest into a company, say, hey, look, we need to have as many profits as Fortnite, or you need to change the game to make it more like Fortnite so you can actually get everything done and get all this money in. And of course, that's what ends up happening. And you force a game that isn't really made to kind of be like Fortnite to be like Fortnite, and that ends up being a problem in the near future. Again, Call of Duty didn't really have the battle pass practices before Fortnite was released. Now they did Rainbow Six Siege. Now they did a wide series of other games. This is the overwhelming problem. If you want to pull in as much money as Fortnite, you have to do exactly what Fortnite does. However, the problem is, if your product is not really made for that kind of idea in the first place, then of course all it does is fuck it up even more. And you see that with the games like I mentioned, Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege. That started off amazing, having a nice premise, and then slowly decreasing over time as they tried to add in more and more of what made Fortnite millions, if not billions of dollars over the last couple of years. Now, the last thing is when it comes down to the thing that I'm doing here, content creation. Now, I don't know what you guys think about this one. This one's a little bit more on the debatable edge, but I feel like it also screwed up the whole entire internet and creation, or YouTube creation, or content creation, or even live streaming, for example, because it has completely infested the whole entire influencer's mindset that it needs to be a popping game that has continuous and genuine intensity throughout the whole entire session. Tim the Tatman is a good example of that, and a couple other Call of Duty related creators that played Warzone or even Fortnite in the past. They all have the exact same problem, and it has never been more obvious than with the Battlefield 6. You need a goddamn battle royale, you need this, you need that, you need to make it extremely competitive.
A good progression, reasons to log in daily, it needs battle pass for sure.
Oh my god, getting snaked. You're so awful. You guys are awful. Holy, Battlefield players are like this.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Fortnite has kind of made this whole entire competitive idea around all of content creation. There are so many creators out there who say that you need a game to be hyper competitive to have it be enjoyed on a mass scale, which is something that has kind of fucked up the industry and content creation as a whole. Not even just gaming. I mean, other than the fact that influencers have a very big stake when it comes down to exactly how a new game is made or how a new game is produced. But still, nevertheless, it just is impacting gaming and content creation as well. I've never really had the whole entire thing pop up as much as now, where every single creator needs to be playing a battle royale or a hyper intense game. Or, of course, you have other streamers that, of course, have kind of gotten rid of that whole entire aspect completely off of their radar, where you play more of these indie titles and indie developed games. But still, Fortnite has kind of produced that whole entire ideology that you need to have a huge, gigantic, popping, super intense gameplay to make a stream good, which is honestly what I do not believe in any way, shape, or form. Now, with all that being said, let's finally go and talk about the conclusion. I genuinely believe that most of this is not necessarily Fortnite's fault. They made a very good game, and a lot of people enjoy it. And when a lot of people enjoy a game, and especially if you produce a free game, there's going to be a lot of things that you can try and monetize and try to capitalize off of. I'm not going to be blaming Fortnite for that individually, but I will blame it for, what happens afterwards, or the kind of lead up from other companies and what they end up doing with their own games purely based off the success of Fortnite. I would blame more the success of Fortnite more than Fortnite itself, or even the developers. They made a good game. That's what matters to them. I'm not going to say that Fortnite is the worst game in human history. I don't like it that much, obviously, but I still think it has such an impact on the gaming industry in lots of different negative ways that ended up, causing what's happening now, where you see a lot of different crossovers between what Fortnite is doing to brand new games and how they are monetized and exactly how everything really works behind the scenes there. And that's just something that's been on my mind a lot, and I wanted to rant the fuck about it in a video like this. Of course, if there's something that I'm missing, you can leave it down in the comments below. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, do me a favor, like and subscribe, just like usual, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all next time. This is me, the Holy Commentator, signing off for now.